Good morning, Flosstube. It's Lori of Mischievous Stitches. It is July 4th, so happy Independence Day to all my American friends and happy Canada Day to all my Canadian friends. I understand that that was this week as well. I missed my regular Saturday update this week. I had a fun-filled day. Natasha Stitcherella took off and I took off to Atlanta first thing Saturday morning. It's about a 3-hour drive for us. We went up there to meet with some other stitchers. I got a chance to meet several floss tubers as well as a couple off of Instagram. I met Diana from It Is Me Kismet, as well as Emily of Eclectic Possessions, Stephanie of Stitching It, Yvonne the Night Owl Stitcher was there, Donna of D Squared Cross Stitch, which she's just one of the ladies, was there, so I got to meet her as well. And Janet Coker, who is on Instagram, I got a chance to meet her. I sat with her that day, and she has some stories. She had me cracking up off and on all day. She's just amazing. So it was great to meet all of them. Also, Jimmy Flosstube was there, so just a great time. Natasha and I were there till around, I want to say, what, maybe 4 o'clock, and then we left and got home, come home, and very little stitching was done by me. I don't know about Natasha. I'm at things like that, I talk more than I stitch. So I know that if I stitch, I'm just going to be reverse stitching when I get home, so very little stitching was completed while we were there. But had a wonderful time, so look forward to doing that again hopefully soon. I will show you where I am on my Speak to the Earth. I almost said by the bay. My Speak to the Earth piece. My cow has a few more friends, so he's not so lonely anymore, not stuck there with that mean snake. A couple fish, couple ducks, got the cat. When I first started stitching that cat, I had it outlined in the grass. The back end of it was outlined, and I thought for sure that that was a rat. Just, I don't know, the head of it, the tail, the back end, it just reminded me of a rat. But look, it looks like it has one eye. Looks like a cyclops cat. But got that much done. So I am not quite halfway on the bottom page. I think this will be half because this is the side edge and this is the bottom here. So this is the bottom of the border. This is McKenna's favorite part of this piece. The udders. McKenna, there's only 3. This is a special cow. She stands out in the field because she's special. Anyway, there's that. I probably will not get much stitching done today. As you can look behind me, I am in my stitch room. I have got it painted. I have got the trim wiped down in preparation to paint it as well. It was dinged up pretty good. I'm not sure exactly what my daughter did to ding it up so, but not ding it, but you know, scrape paint off the edges of it somehow. So I'm going to repaint the trim, and I'm hoping to get this door and this door pulled down, washed up really good, pulled down, and possibly I'm going to take them out back and paint them. So I should be pretty busy today. But I'm excited. It's coming together. I do have a couch. We did get a second-hand couch from an estate sale. It was supposed to be delivered this week, but we have had downpours almost every day this week and the end of last week. So what's happened is you can't, if you've got a truck, my husband couldn't pick the couch up and, you know, after work and get the couch wet. So as soon as we have another day, the place of course is closed for the holiday, so as soon as we get another day to pick it up with the truck, we will. So I will have that, and just really excited about it. My husband I have been wanting for a long time a ironing board, a wooden ironing board, and he found one, and last weekend took me to get it, and I'm so excited. I'm very tall, so when I sit under most desks, my knees will touch the bottom of the desk, especially computer desks that may have the slide out tray for the keyboard. I can't sit in front of it. I have to sit to the side of it, and you know, because I can't get my knees under there comfortably. I'm thinking this is going to work well for me with sewing. I know that some of you, I've seen in your videos that you have the fold-out plastic table in your stitch rooms for cutting fabric or your sewing machine, and even those, my knees tend, if I'm not sitting smack dab in the middle of it, my knees are going to touch the bars, and it's just uncomfortable. So I'm not sitting full on, I'm always sitting one side or the other. So this, yes, it has the bars, but I think it's going to work well with me for the height. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that's going to be for me. And if not, you know, I've got a nice table to sit a lamp on in a corner. So happy with that. While we were there at that shop getting that, I did get a few other things. So I'm going to show them to you. I found a couple more frame pieces of doilies. And I found one in particular I really liked because it was Battenberg lace. I have a habit of when I go through an antique store, I'll walk through the whole thing and I may not pick up anything. Anything that I like or that catches my interest, I will store that information in my mind, finish my route of the store, and then come back to them. And that's what I did with a couple of the pieces. The Battenberg lace piece did not have a price on it, and the owner of the stall, or the one that was leasing the stall, could not be reached. So I could not get that piece. But there was one other piece that I had found that I walked back to. And when I made that second round through there, the owner of that stall was there, a little old man with a cane, and he said, everything in my booth is 75% off. So I struck up a conversation with him. There were lots of stitched pieces in there. Some were embroidery, a couple cross stitch, mainly doilies and things like that. And his wife was a stitcher, and so was her mother. His wife was still alive, but she was in a home because she had dementia and he couldn't care for her any longer. He needed to downsize, and I'm a sentimental person, so I had to bring these pieces home with me. And now every time that I see them, I can think of this old gentleman and his wife and pray for them. I just, like I said, I'm just a sentimental person anyway, and I couldn't let them stay there. I had to give them home. So here's one of the pieces. If I'm not mistaken, the last one I had was similar to this. I think you all told me this was the pineapple stitch. And this one as well. Now, I do have plans for these, but I need your help. So if you have any, I'm going to ask a couple questions, and if you can help me out with that, I would very much appreciate it. The colors are not me. So I have, the one I had bought prior is antique pink, not my color. This is a blue, not my color. These are what, early 90s colors, home decor colors. My questions are, and I believe Suzette had commented on my last one that these are glue, if they're glued on, that the glue will become brittle and that they're easy to remove these. So if that's the, I'm hoping that's the case. If I remove them, what kind of glue is that? Because I will need to know to re-adhese this to the mat board. So if you know what type of glue is used, could you let me know? Also, this mat, since it's not my color, when I remove this piece, I would like to paint it to a color that is an earthy tone that's more my style. What type of paint do I use? Now, I'm not a scrapbooker, so I know nothing about what's acid-free, what's not. Do I need to consider that with this piece? So I need advice with that. Can I paint it? What type of paint should I use? Just acrylic? Is there a special kind? Or can I just cover it with a piece of fabric and adhese the fabric to the mat board and then mat this or adhese this to that fabric? So those are my thoughts. If you can help me out with that. Aren't they pretty? These threads, they really connect us, you know. Also, while I was there, I found some baby booties. And I picked them up because I can tell they're old by the color. Excuse me. Apologize for that. But they are either baptism or booties for a child, for an infant. And they're tatted. They're needle tatted. Now, I do not needle tat, but I have a friend who does. And it took some time to tat these baby booties. A lot of time. And I couldn't leave them sitting there. So they are brittle. I want to do something special for them and have them on a shelf in here. But I had to bring those home with me too. And the time and effort that went in these. And it's just a vintage booties. Yeah, they're vintage booties. But $8. I know it's silly, but I go in these places and I'm happy to pay so little for them. But it offends me at the same time that so much time and effort and love and talent went into these pieces. $8. I know that's the silliest thing. I'm all like, I'll buy it, I'll buy it. And at the same time, I'm mad because I bought it for so little. So, anyway, I know that's silly. I also found a little thimble, I don't know what you call it, hutch, hanging. I'm going to paint it. My grandmother had, when we grandchildren would go out of town, anywhere we went, Six Flags or Disney World, we'd come home with a thimble for our grandmother, and she had a much larger piece than this where she would put those thimbles. And anyway, I hope to get maybe one of hers and maybe one of my mom's and put in here. I don't have a plan to fill it, just, you know. I also have been pinning like a crazy woman on Pinterest with ideas for this stitch room. And my current idea is to make a curtain out of doilies. Now, I've seen whole curtains and I've seen just the valance, but my idea is to do a large, say a cute triangle where it's wide at the top and it slants down the side. So it'd be two panels. The back panels would be a sheer and the front panel would be the doilies. So you can get doilies for a steal at an antique shop. So I picked up several this week because I'm going to overlap them, and I'm just going to show you a few of them. They all look like snowflakes, don't they? And then I see at the Stitch this Saturday, there was a lady that came in, and I didn't get a chance to introduce myself to her, but she had taken small lace pieces, patches, pieces of lace, little embroidery, and embroidered her jeans. And I can do that. Do you, that's like a disease that I have. Do you guys have it? I can do that. You see something, I can do that. I like that. I can do that. And I don't always do it, but I can do it. Let me show you a couple more. Now this one I bought because of the shape. I wanted some that were all different shapes. And the lady there told me that this was probably on the back of a chair because once upon a time people didn't take a bath every day or twice a day like we do. And this would lay over the back of the chair. So when a person's head hit the chair, the oils from their head did not damage the cloth on the chair, which I think I've seen those in movies, but no one I know uses them. So this may go over the back of my couch. But I did get a bag full of those, and I picked up a couple more hankies for my hanky quilt. And I picked up this, and I had shown this on Instagram. Now, I think this is a child's sewing case. Now, I can see that it's been repainted. I've not cleaned it up, so you can see it's a little grimy. It has been painted. I'm thinking it's older because of the way it's just the way it's held together. See, these aren't nails. They're like long pins that go the entire length of the wood here and on both doors. Because you see no other nails anywhere else, just in those places. I'm thinking it is a child's sewing kit, and I think that because it was on a shelf with 4 children's sewing machines. That I may eventually go back and pick one up for myself, but I want to have a bookshelf up here first, and it depends on whether I have one of those to whether I go get that. Anyway, what do you think? I'm pretty sure it's a child's sewing kit, but I will say my friend Patty commented on my Instagram feed and said her dad used to keep his shoe polishes in one that looked just like this. So is that what it is? Is it a container for shoe polish, or is it a child's sewing kit or sewing box? I'm saying it's a child's sewing box because that's what I want it to be. But and I was going through, we were doing a little giveaway table this past Saturday, and I didn't want to come empty-handed, so I'm going through my things, and I ran across these little pieces. And I had gotten these pieces from a friend who had given me a big bag full of cross-stitch items a few years ago, because one of her customers had brought it in to her and asked if she knew anyone that stitched, because they weren't going to stitch anymore, and you know, pretty much they wanted her to find a home for it. So she gave it to me. And because they were stitched, even though I couldn't stitch them, I couldn't give them away. And I thought at some point I'm going to find something to do with them. And I did. And I want to show it to you. So she did put fusible interfacing on the back. What her purpose were for these, I don't know. But this is what I did with mine, or one of them. So it's just a coaster. I don't know. It's been so long since I bought one. I don't know how much it was at Hobby Lobby. It comes with a round piece of cardboard and this cork backing and the plastic coaster. You just pop your frame piece in, pull the glue back off of the cork, and pop it on there. This is what I did with it. I've done one of those in the past, and I had done it like this, which this is scrapbooking paper. And this is the gingerbread is a piece of perforated paper that I had stitched, and then I cut him out, and he just floats around loose in there. And I really like that. So I thought this would be great too, and of course I thought, well, I'll use this up here. Now I may keep one more because I don't have any more spare coasters, but I do know where to find them. But I do have 4 others. So if anyone is interested in having one of those to put in a coaster so that we're saving these stitches, just message below. If there's not 4, then I'm sure I'm going to keep them. If there are 4, great. If there are more than 4, it's just the first 4 that comment for them. I'll just put them in an envelope and mail them off to you for you to save these stitches. I got one item in the mail this week. I've really been wanting to stitch Let Freedom Ring. I have it kitted up. That was my next project I was planning after stitching this Speak to the Earth piece. And now I'm seeing everybody stitch it, and I'm not as excited about it. Does anyone else do that? I mean, I like to see my piece develop as I'm stitching it, but I'm already seeing it develop as I'm watching everybody else stitch it, and it's kind of... I've lost my desire to stitch it. So this is the piece that I was talking about in my last video that I found on eBay, and Natasha's like, oh, it's cheaper if you go over. This is it. So I really like this with the quilt squares, but this is what gets me. Now, this is a 32 count fabric. The piece is 340 by 360 stitches. I ordered the fabric when I ordered the pattern. Hello! Am I stitching a Rosewood Manor, or am I stitching a Hade? I don't think I have to say anything else about that. You all get it. That is, what do you call a bat? It's more like a bat. Okay. I think that's all I've got today. You know what? I've got 20 minutes. I'm going to show you one. I'm at 20 minutes. I'm going to show you one more thing. Because I'm getting everything ready up here. I'm slowly, every time I come upstairs, I'm bringing a few more things that I've got. Because most of my stitch things are in my closet. It's overrunning my closet. It's running over and spilling over into my bedroom. I had forgotten about these. And these are Mirabilia's, I think they were Christmas angels. She does not do them every year. These were, I think, in the 90s. This was the first one I think I did. This was the second one. I can see I put my 01. You see the framing's coming loose, but I stitched this one in 01. And this was the last one I stitched. Now, this framing's terrible. I'm going to have to take that out. But once again, I can see that the framing, it's just not, it needs to be ironed. It needs to be cleaned. It's off. These pieces I had done for my grandmother. My grandmother's been gone for several years now, less than 10, but too many years. And I was very close to my grandmother, my mother's mother. I had stitched these for her. I told you I'm a stingy stitcher. I was never stingy with her. I just got these from her house this year. My uncle does live in her house, and so not much has changed in her home because he kept everything as it was. It was his mom's house. I could not go into that house for several years without an emotion. And just stepping up on the porch was an emotional reaction. I'm talking slow because I'm going to keep myself in check with my emotions with it, but just a very special woman, very special to me. You know, there's those people in your life that just being with them is a comfort. The sound of their voice is a comfort. Their words speak to your soul. I mean, you hear the meaning and the love and the care of everything that spills out of their mouth when they're talking to you. And she was just that way. She just spoke to me. Her words meant something. Every word she said is... I miss her every day. Every day. Anyway, when she was young, they were more, we call it up the country. Her family was from up the country. She was one of 10 children, and she was the second oldest, and so her younger siblings are the same age or younger than my mother. So we have a large family, but those that are my uncles are more, you know, my great uncles are more, they're younger than my mother. And when she was up there, she had 5 children of her own, and one of her children passed away the day that she was born. And she was buried up the country instead of here where my grandmother come to live most of her days, which is where we are in this county now. Not long before my grandfather passed away, they had the baby exhumed and brought the baby here to where they had their cemetery plot so that their baby could be buried with them. And that was when they moved Wanda. I stitched this for Mama because of that. It seemed perfect for me. But I love the fact that even though that child only lived one day, they wanted that child with them. And they had her moved here. They didn't want her, you know, where she was. They wanted her here with them. And that tells you a little bit about my grandparents. But anyway, so I had those stitched for her, and she had them at her house, and she loved, my sister stitched a huge polygon for her, and she loved those because we had made, not only because we made them, but because she loved the needlework. And thankful. She was very thankful for them, but it was hard. It's still hard for me to go there, and I know that's the silliest thing. Is it a fear? I don't know what it is. But anyway, it took me a long while just to be able to go there and get those. And there's other things like our sewing machine and things that my mom and my grandmother knew that I wanted, but because my uncle's still there and her things are there, it feels like I'm stealing because it doesn't belong to me, because everything looks the same. And like I said, just unreasonable silliness in my mind. But anyway, what else? I don't think there's anything else going on. I hope everyone enjoys their day. Those of you here in the States, enjoy the fireworks and the barbecues, and think of me while I'm here painting, trim, and doors. I look forward to the coming weekend. I have big plans again this weekend. I'm looking forward to those. So if you don't see me Saturday, hopefully you'll see me again Sunday or Monday. But have a great week, a rest of the week. Enjoy your holiday, and I'll see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.